Nityananda, Sri Advaita Gadadhar, Shivashadi, Gaura Bhakta Vrinda, Hare Krishna, Hare. All of you can say this. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. So, welcome everyone to this class, and we are beginning to kind of first or second session we have for chapter um, 3 and in 1 minute. Do you see any screen or it's gone? Gone? Okay. Come back. Okay. All right. So Karma Yoga is the third chapter in Bhagavad Gita. So far, just for Arjun, who is a new person. So there are 18 chapters in Bhagavad Gita, Arjun, and oh, your name is Arjun. So it is conversation between Krishna and Arjuna in the battlefield of Kurukshetra. So it's a very serious subject matter, because in battlefield when people talk, it's not some kind of gossip. It's very serious, right? Because it's a more question of birth, dying or killing. So this conversation is very serious conversation between Arjun and Krishna. There are 18 chapters. It has been compiled, and we finished 2 chapters so far. Third chapter is Karma Yoga. Every chapter has a title. This chapter title is Karma Yoga, chapter 3, and so we'll dwell a little bit. So in the previous chapter, chapter 1, Arjuna gives reasons for not fighting the Mahabharata war. He cites the reason of compassion, that Krishna, how can I kill anyone? But though he was a Kshatriya, right? He's supposed to kill. That's his duty, because that's he's trained for, right? It's like army people. So they're supposed to kill because when needed, not unnecessarily, but in a war, definitely they are there to kill. In war, they are not there to do the party, right? Or peace. It's all about killing or killed. So second is enjoyment. He's like, if I kill, with whom I will enjoy if I win the battle, right? So everybody, you want money so that you can enjoy with your family or to yourself, right? Or friends. So that's the reason. Another reason Arjuna said. Then third one reason Arjuna cites is, if I kill people, then there will be sinful reactions, because I will be involved, implicated in killing these people, and then I have to suffer the reactions of it. And the fourth reason is cites destruction of the family traditions, because if I kill young people, the female will become widow, and the kids will become orphan, no shelter, and the elder people will also will be no shelter, because the adult person goes for fighting in the army, and if I'm killing, then I will be responsible for destroying the whole tradition. And then fifth thing, which that chapter ends with, Krishna, Arjuna asked that how to live in his calm life. So Krishna, starting with chapter 2, he gives explanation of compassion. So to counteracting those arguments, Krishna presents the arguments of Sankhya Yoga, which I'm not going in detail. We'll come back later. Sankhya is nothing but science of soul, and what is different between science of soul and science of the body. So that's a Sankhya Yoga. Then Krishna talks in the further slokas about karma kanda, like how can you get rid of this enjoying propensities. And then third one is how can you act without any niskam, any kind of reactions. So what is that art of acting? It's in Niskam Karma Yoga. And the fourth one is continuation of that conversation, that if you do something beyond yourself, then you can save yourself from a lot of reactions. And the fifth is how to act as a niskam, which means that you act and you don't suffer the reactions, is act on the platform of regulated principle of freedom. So that's like we'll touch base soon, and we talk about this chapter 3. So in chapter 3 begins with Niskam Karma Yoga. That's what we are right now going through. I think we finished till 10. So this section today is how can you move from karma, which is cycle of reactions and pious or impious, to karma yoga. Means you can, yoga means to connect, and connect to whom? We need to learn that. Whom we're supposed to connect. So there's a couple of questions answered in section, that what is the happiness formula in this world? You know, what is the people do a lot of sacrifice for whom? And what is real sacrifice? And what is sin? And what is piety? And how they affect us? So these are the questions will be dealt in this section. Section 3 and 4 is talking about how you set a correct example, that why great people perform duties, even himself he has to act. And then next one was ways how to act niskam, what is the benefit, you know, um, and ultimately we'll discuss what is mind your own business formula, like what is it to act on this karma yoga platform. And the last section is sometimes we forced to act sinfully, like we don't want to do certain things, but we something is as if pulling us. So how to understand all that? So that's the last section of this chapter 3. Total 43 sloka. Okay. So this chapter starts with conversation between Arjuna and Krishna. Arjuna said, "I'm confused. You explained me karma yoga, that you duty as a duty you fight, and then you say, oh, you should renounce because it's a jnana yoga. So you can renounce everything and just surrender unto me." So Arjuna is confused. Should I fight and Krishna, or should I surrender unto you? What should I do? Right? So then he asks, tell me conclusive path. I want to know what is the final path. So last to last week, we discussed different ladder of yoga. So then in the bottom you have animal life, which is, they don't have any much decision making capacity. I mean, they don't have a freedom because they are bound with their conditioning. Animals, they will eat, they will sleep, they will produce childrens, and they will defend, eating, sleeping, having sex life, and defending from others, from dangers. That's what animals do, right? They don't do any karma because to do the karma, to do some conscious work, like really creative work or innovative work, requires higher brain power, which is humans are endowed with a lot of. We control the whole planet because we have been given more. We can exercise our freedom more efficiently, and we have control over the whole planet. All kind of animals, right? So karma kanda is the for humans, and sakam karma. So from there, second ladder is karma kanda. So animals is more like just living a life. But then if you want to go to human platform, that's a karma kanda. So then people start doing rituals, which is very common. Doing rituals, doing puja and all, right? Have you ever seen any dog doing any puja? No, right? The cat doing puja? No. Any animals? They don't have temple. They don't have um, a program that okay, let's have this marriage ceremony, right? There is nothing like that. So and then from karma kanda, the sakam karma yoga, which is karma kanda is there is no conception of God. It is more like karma kanda means I will do this and then I will get this. This is like very common. The priest come to your house. All the rituals they do in the marriage or anything is just karma kanda. Okay. So from karma kanda, you have to go sakam karma yoga. Yes, still you are expecting some result, but then you are connecting that to supreme absolute truth. No, no. So you connect to yoga means connect. So you are adding to something which is supreme than yourself. And then niskam karma yoga, that you take yourself out of it and you act for the pleasure of someone else, which is niskam karma yoga. And in this case, of course, God, Krishna, we call buddhi yoga also. So from your sense and mind platform, you work on the platform of intelligence. And the Jnana Yoga, Sankhya Yoga, that you start looking at soul and body different. So then you understand what is spirit and what is matter. So that's a Sankhya Yoga platform. And from Sankhya Yoga, you're Dhyan. So you are more in meditation, Samadhi. There are different level of Samadhi. So you go on that platform, Ashtanga Yoga platform. And the topmost is Bhakti Yoga platform, where everything is included. You do all of this. Okay. So there are different ladders. We'll touch base in future when as we go on discussing. So last session we discussed there are different classes of yogis. You know, Sankhya Yogi, or Karma Yogi. Sankhya Yogis are more of scientists, philosophers, intellectuals. They are trying to do empirical science and philosophical debate to reach a conclusion that what is spirit and what is body, what is matter, what is spirit, essentially what is soul and what is body. Karma yogis are more of doing karma, but for Krishna, so it becomes devotional service. They have a devotion. So um, then it talks about inaction. Some people start thinking, oh, if I don't act at all, then there is no reaction because I'm not doing anything, right? So that's also not allowed because we even we sleep, our mind is working. We cannot say that we are never idle. Actually, we are always working, whether physically or mentally, or subconsciously or consciously. Even in sleeping state, your which means your brain is working, right? Even while you are sleeping. So there is no point until death. We never stop working, right? Now, Arjuna asked that Krishna, as if something is forcing me to act, even if I don't want to do it. And then Krishna describes definition of pretenders, and then definition of karma yoga. It's seventh sloka. And today, which sloka we are reading, Mataji? Can you remind me? 11th.
Yes, Prabhuji, 3.11 will start.
11, right?
Yes, yes.
Okay. So this is the 11 means 10 to 16 here. That's what we have. So we are going to understand how can you move from Karma Kand to Karma Yoga platform. And I'm going to share the book. If somebody has the Bhagavad Gita, you can read directly from there. So we will go, all of us, we are going to read from Bhagavad Gita, each sloka at a time. And I'm sorry, Arjun, it will take time for you because there's been 2 chapters already over. So I'm not going in detail for sake of others' time. But if you want, I have recordings you can watch, whenever you have time or whenever you get time. So, but even if you don't watch, you will learn as you spend time over the weeks. We will repeat many things, so we'll clarify. Okay.
Sure. Yeah. Yeah.
All right. So let's get started. This is Bhagavad Gita, chapter 3, 11th sloka. Everybody can see my screen?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Okay. So I'm going to say Sanskrit. If you want, you can repeat after me, and then we'll read. Okay. Devan bhavyayatane
Devan
te deva bhavyantu va
Deva
parasparam bhavyantah
Parasparam
श्रेया परम अवस्थ्यथा.
Shriya Param Avastata.
Sorry. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, Shri Shri Bhaktivedanta Swami, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Give me a minute. All right. So translation, the demigods, being pleased by sacrifice, will also please you. And thus by cooperation between man and demigod, prosperity will regime for all. Purport. The demigods are empowered administrator of material affair. The supply of air, light, water, and all other benediction for maintaining the body and souls of every living entity is entrusted to the demigod, who are innumerable assistants in different parts of the body of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Their pleasure and displeasure are dependent on the performance of yajna by human being. Some of the yajnas are meant to satisfy particular demigod, but even in doing so, Lord Vishnu is worshipped by all yajna as the chief beneficiary. It is stated also in Bhagavad Gita that Krishna himself is beneficiary of all kind of yajnas. Oktaram yajna tapasam. Therefore, ultimate satisfaction of yagnapati is the chief purpose of all yajna. When these yajnas perfectly performed, naturally the demigod in charge of different department of supply are pleased, and there is no scarcity in supply of natural product. The performance of yajna has many side benefits, ultimately leading to liberation from material bondage. By performance of yajna, all activities become purified, as it is stated in Vedas, Ahara Shuddho Shattva Siddhi Sattva Suddho Dhruva Smriti Smriti Lambe Sharva Granthim Vipramoksha. By performance of yajna, one's eatable becomes sanctified, and by eating sanctified food, one's very existence becomes purified, and by purification of existence, finer tissue in the memory becomes satisfied, and when memory is sanctified, one can think of the path of liberation. And all these combined together lead to Krishna consciousness, the great necessity of present day society. Hare Krishna. So many new things. And I can get my pen, which is very hard for me. Okay. All right. So, couple of things came up, and it's important to understand a little bit. So it is being said that there is someone in control where we are living, right? So in our general life, we know that government is controlling us, isn't it? Let's have discussion. I don't want to keep it monotonous class. Okay. So if you discuss, then you understand. Otherwise, it becomes like katha, right? You're just sitting there and listening. So do you think we are under control? By someone superior, all of us being controlled,
Yes. Yes,
right?
Prabhuji.
Anybody thinks that we are not being controlled?
I think we're controlled.
But how? How explain someone? Because everybody thinks that we are free. We are free world. You know, we live in free world.
That I don't know.
We are
Maybe it's
controlled by not doing nonsense things.
no. Let's not go philosophical. Let's be practical. You know, in our practical life, how many of you think that you are under control of which are
Yeah,
the things you think you are controlled by?
yeah, control and of parents when we are young.
Yeah, that is true, Mantri. But right now, everyone is under control of a government, right? Isn't it? The government made the law and you have to follow. If you don't follow, you get punished. You get tickets. Have to pay fine. And if you disturb too much, you can put you into jail by police immediately. Isn't it? What do you think?
Yes, Prabhuji.
What other people think? I'm not really hearing from anyone, and there are 7 people on the class, but nobody is talking.
Yes, Prabhuji.
What else you are being controlled by? One is government. Other
A social pressure. Social pressure.
society. Yes, society. You know, Like there are norms, there are unsaid norms, social norms, right? You do this way, you do that way, you do this way. Even third level, you think your employer controls you. You have to check in at right time, check out at right time. You have to work certain number of hours, then you get paid your paycheck, right? If you don't follow the company policy, you will be removed from the company. Means they are controlling you. Actually, the employer controls major part of our life, isn't it? Because they are paying us money, they are giving us food, they are supplying us money, they control us. Correct?
Yes.
And there is no excuse. If suppose if you're driving on a highway and you're a new driver, you don't know certain rules because there are so many rules for the highway driving. Even if you don't know, but if you commit a mistake, you will have to get punished. There is no question of innocence. Like in the court of law, there is nothing called innocence. Either you don't know or know. If you commit a mistake, you are supposed to get punished. As simple as. Degree may be different, knowingly that different degree, but the punishment is there. There is a code that has to be followed, right? You cannot say that, oh, I didn't knew, please forgive me. Police will say, no, you're caught. You recorded, you get ticket, you pay this much money immediately, right? So how are we satisfying the government, right? We earn money. Major part of our money goes to taxes, whether this is income tax, which is immediately your salary itself is cut, and then once you get salary, you are paying taxes for everything. In India, GST, CST, TST, so many varieties of taxes. In US, there are state taxes, local city taxes, there are federal taxes. And then when you go to sale taxes, when you do shopping, you pay sale taxes, you have wealth tax, you have so many taxes, right? Isn't it, Arjun? So many taxes.
Yes. Yeah.
And if we don't pay taxes, then IRS will issue a notice. Right? And we have to pay the taxes on time. But when it comes to this is about this world, America or any country, any city has rules. There are controllers. There are controllers, like there are administration who is controlling the city. There is police department, water department, fire, safety department, air quality, environmental protection department. There are so many departments in the government, right? Isn't it? So to manage these small cities, there are so many government officers, people controlling, managing. They are employed by the whom? Government. Who is the government? Who is the government in India right now? Is it so difficult question? Who is government in India?
BJP.
Yes, so BJP, right? Bharatiya Janata Party. So now, but there is one person who is controlling the whole BJP, right? One person, right? Who is that?
Narendra Modi.
Narendra Modi, right? So if anything goes wrong, then naturally you think, "Arey Modi kuch nahi kar raha hai. He's not doing anything." Though he's not supposed to, but ultimately you're thinking, I'm paying the taxes and going. Who is the responsible person? Is the prime minister? You know, in America, we blame Biden or Trump. Now is Trump coming? Biden going, but the president is the representative of the government, the topmost head, right? And anything goes wrong, we blame immediately. This government in power represented by this person is not doing right. And if we don't pay taxes, then they will send us notices, and we have to do all that. But when it comes to think about universal affairs of the, universal management affairs, right? For example, if the light does not come in your house, you will blame the electric department immediately. Oh no, these I am paying bills, but they are not giving me electricity. And it come even if you pay right bill, then still you don't get good quality electricity. The voltage goes down in the summer, right? Because everybody's running air conditioning. The voltage, especially small cities, not in US, but in India, it's still a problem. It's still a struggle, right? Despite you pay everything, the quality is not good. But then think of this: every day, at specific time, the sun rises and the sun sets. The temperature is perfect. The temperature is modulated by the clouds in such a way that you get exactly perfect temperature. If the temperature goes few degrees here and there, global warming, it can destroy the planet. Think of, if the sun decides one day, I'm going to increase the temperature by 5 degree. The planet Earth gone, finished. 5 degree means over. We are done. You know, who is regulating all this? Is it possible by chance? And people say, oh, it is by chance. You have sun rising and going. If you spend time and study about solar system and galaxies, all these astronomical research, you'll be amazed to know the millions and millions and millions of planetary systems, and they're rotating, but never a traffic accident. We have a traffic accident despite so many technologies, but who controls all that? Oh, we say by chance, everything is by chance, but here nothing happens by chance, actually, right? Nothing in our life happen by chance. Everything we have to work so hard, but the universal affairs is managed by chance, and we don't have to do anything for that. We get nice air, we are getting nice water supply by rain, you know, air, sunlight, water supply. Earth is ready made. Who created Earth? We have transformed the Earth. We make buildings. We use concrete. Everything made up of Earth. Whether it's metal, whether it's soil, whether it's plastic, whether any kind of chemical coming from Earth. No scientist so far manufactured chemicals, the raw material coming from Earth. You are just researching to find out what is it in your terms, but actually exist. Everything is pre-existing. Everything pre-existing. For example, people are trying to understand what is in the cell, but the cell is already exist. You are researching. You are not creating anything, right? You're just trying to find what is already there. Somebody set everything in the motion, and you're trying to find how does it happen. But somebody did it, and we don't recognize that. We take out that factor away and say God is dead. There is no controller. I am the controller, right? But in a small city control, there are thousands of employees working to control the city. But when it comes to universal affair, we think no, there is nothing in control, right? It is definitely not logical, because just because you don't know does not mean it doesn't exist, right? For example, I come from a small village, or for example, I'm sitting in somewhere in village in Maharashtra, some village remote area, and somebody comes from America. My friend comes from America and says, hey Pawan, there is a nice aeroplane, flies in America. Everybody flying in aeroplanes, and I've seen it. And I'll say, what nonsense you're talking. How can I believe you? I have not seen it, I have not done it. How can I trust you? Right? And then I start arguing that, thinking, oh no, this is nonsense. What you're talking is doesn't make sense, because I have not seen it. You saw me. For showing you, sir, you have to come to America first. You come here. You come and see it. So you have to make yourself eligible. You have to get visa. You have to, even if you reach here, climate is different. You have to survive and experience everything, right? You need to have money, finance, visa, so many things. So since it you have not thought, but if you think about it, humans on this planet think that they are the most superior being on this universe. But we are just a dust of a spark in the universe. If you astronomically, if you see space research, we are just a dust. And we think that we are the god of this universe. All the galaxies, sun, planet, everything I am controlling. But the sun increase 1 degree temperature or 5 degree, we are burned over. And we think I'm controlling the sun. What is a nonsense? Like, we have not gone even only few 100,000 miles away from our atmospheric space. If you have studied geography, we have not gone beyond our own atmosphere much. We don't know, but we think we are the boss, and everyone else is alien. If there is any other living being on any other planet, it's alien. And they also think that we are alien because they think that these nonsense guys, they are destroying their own planet. In few decades, they will destroy their own planet. There is no pure water. There is no plants. Everything is polluted. They're short lived. They don't have proper life. They are fighting wars. They are killing each other. What they will be thinking, right? They will somebody is watching us also. Don't think that we are only watching with our satellite other things. Somebody is also watching us, right? It's like if you have a CCTV camera all around your house and you think, oh, I'm watching the whole city, but somebody is also watching you with their CCTV camera, right? But just because you don't know, you think, oh, nobody is watching me because I am the best, right? So it is absurd to think that, oh, I'm the best. What I know is the final thing. Because of this narrow mindedness, we don't recognize superior control in the universe, right? And we don't appreciate that there is supply of air, water, you know, sunlight. It, you may not have imagined, but imagine if one day, just one day, if one day the sunlight disappears from the planet Earth, it will freeze. It will freeze. One day, just completely disconnect the sunlight, dark. And if there is no sunlight, it will be dark planet. Imagine, right? It's a dark planet. You can't grow vegetables. Without sunlight, actually, you cannot do anything. For sunlight is needed for rain, for for the vegetable production, for the whole industry. What we are running is dependent on sunlight. Now we are getting more dependent because of solar panels, right? Because we are finishing our fuels, fossil fuels. So we are going solar, and we are getting more dependent on solar, right? But one day there is no sun. Sun says, I'm holiday, sir. Today is my break. What will happen to us, right? So, any questions, any comments so far? Any thoughts? No? Okay. Sorry?
No, Prabhuji.
Yes, thank you. Okay, next is sloka. Who wants to read? Next one. No? Why is everybody is silent? Should I call the name or how you want to do it?
I will read.
Yes, man, you read.
Ishtan bhoganihi vodeva dashyante yagna bhavitaha taidratāna pradayebhyo yo buddhe stena eva saha. In charge of the various necessities of life, the demigods, being satisfied by the performance of the yajna, sacrifice, will supply all necessities to you. But he enjoys such gift without offering them to demigod in return is certainly a thief. Purport. The demigod are authorized supplying agent on behalf of the Supreme Personality of the Godhead Vishnu. Therefore, we must be satisfied by the performance of the prescribed yagna. In the Vedas, there are different kinds of yagna prescribed for different kinds of demigod, but all are ultimately offered to the Supreme Personality of the Godhead. For one who cannot understand what the personality of the Godhead is, sacrifice to the demigod is recommended. According to the different material qualities of a person concerned, different types of the yagnas are recommended in the Vedas. Worship of different demigod is also on the same basis, namely according to the different qualities. For example, meat eaters are recommended to worship goddess Kali, the ghastly form of the material nature, and before the goddess, the sacrifice of the animal is recommended. But for those who are in the mode of goodness, the transcendental worship of Vishnu is recommended. But ultimately, all yagnas are meant for gradual promotion to the transcendental position. For ordinary men, at least 5 yagnas, known as Pancha-Mahayagna, are necessary. One should know, however, that all the necessities of the life that the human society requires are supplied by the agents of the Lord. No one can manufacture anything. Take, for example, all the eatables of the human society. These eatables include grain, fruits, vegetable, milk, sugar, etc. For a person is in the mode of goodness, and also eatables for the non-vegetarians like meat, none of which can be manufactured by men. Then again, take an example of heat, light, water, air, etc., which is also necessary for life. None of these can be manufactured by human society. Without the Supreme Lord, there can be no profuse sunlight, moonlight, rainfall, breeze, etc., without which no one can live. Obviously, one is dependent on supplies from the Lord. Even for our manufacturing enterprises, we require so many raw materials like metal, sulfur, mercury, manganese, and so many essentials, all of which are supplied by the agent of lords. And the purpose of that, we should make proper use of them and keep ourselves fit and healthy for the purpose of self-realization, leading to the ultimate goal of life, namely liberalization from the material struggle for existence. This aim of life is attained by performance of yagnas. If we forget the purpose of human life and simply take supplies from the agent of lords for sense gratification and become more and more entangled in the material existence, which is not the purpose of creation, certainly we become thieves. And therefore, we are punished by the law of material nature. A society of thieves can never be happy because they have no aim in life. The gross material thieves have no ultimate goal of life. They are simply directed to simple gratification, nor do they have knowledge of how to perform yagnas. Lord Chaitanya, however, inaugurated the easiest performance of yagna, namely Sankritana Yagna, which can be performed by anyone in the world who accepts the principle of Krishna consciousness. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji. So, same point to what we were talking earlier, you're being described. Like, for example, you work in any industry, you need raw material, and raw material comes from somewhere, supplied by the earth, as I was saying. So, there is nothing we manufacture, we just transform things in different ways, right? But the raw material is required by or manufactured or ready made available, and we just transform it in better way. We polish it, we present it differently, right? So we should recognize at least that who is supplying it, from where it's come from, who is the source, right? That is needed. That's where the beginning of your spiritual life, to inquire that who is the supplier, who is the controller, who controlling this, planetary movement, suns, moons, water, air, all kind of supplies, right, which we are taking daily, and who controls our own life. And who decides when we die, and who decides when we are happy, who decides we are sad? Because sometimes even we try hard to become happy, we are not happy. So what is that? It changes our situation. Even we struggle hard to get it, but still we are not happy, right? Who is controlling it? Who decides what you call in luck? But what is luck? There is nothing by chance, right? Like luck, people think it's a chance. No, it is something beyond your control. So you can, oh, it was not my luck. But then what is that luck, right? So the Bhagavad Gita kind of teaching a lot of these bigger questions. And as we go on, we go to the next sloka. Who wants to read this one? We have 10 minutes. So we should read. All of you should read. Don't hesitate. If you don't know Sanskrit, I'll read Sanskrit for you, and you can just read English. Okay? All right. Arjun, you want to try today?
Sure, I can read. Should I read from your screen, or is there a link
Yeah,
to
yeah, you can
this?
read from screen directly. Yeah. Should I read Sanskrit for you, or you can read?
Yes, if you read Sanskrit, I can read the English.
You can repeat it after me. Okay? So when I say first line, you can just repeat. That way you are also reading. I'm also reading for you. Okay? Yagnasishthashina shanto
Yagnashishthashna shanto
मुच्यन्ते सर्वकिल विषय
मुच्यन्ते सर्वकिल विषय
भुञ्जते ते वा अघं पापा
भुञ्जते ते अवकं पापा
ये पाञ्चय आत्मकारणात्.
या पाञ्चय आत्मकारणात्.
Yes, now you can read translation.
The devotees of the Supreme Lord, or the person
No,
who
no,
are
from
in...
here. The
Okay.
translation, I'm highlighting.
The devotees of the Lord are released from all kinds of sins because they eat food which is offered first for sacrifice. Others who prepare food for personal sense enjoyment verily eat only sin. The devotees of the Supreme Lord, or the persons who are in Krishna consciousness, are called Shantas, and they are always in love with the Lord, as it is described in the Brahma Samhita.
I can read this for you.
5. Yeah.
Premanjan chachu charit bhakti vilochanena santa sadaiva hridayesha vilokayanti. You can read, continue reading from here.
The Shantas, being always in a compact of love with the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Govinda, the giver of all pleasures, or Mukunda, the giver of liberation, or Krishna, the all attractive person, cannot accept anything without first offering it to the Supreme Person. Therefore, such devotees always perform yajnas in different modes of devotional service, such as Shravanam, Kirtanam, Smaranam, Archanam, etc. And these performances of yajnas keep them always aloof from all kinds of contamination of sinful associations. In the material world, others who prepare food for self or self-sense gratification are not only thieves, but also the eaters of all kinds of sins. How can a person be happy if he is both a thief and sinful? It is not possible. Therefore, in order for people to become happy in all respects, they must be taught to perform the easy process of Sankirtana Yajna in full Krishna consciousness. Otherwise, there can be no peace or happiness in the world.
Thank you. Thank you, Arjun. So first of all, let's understand what is thief. Who is thief? How do you describe someone as thief? Okay, it's very easy. Don't hesitate. Just be simple. Think simple.
Person who steals something.
Steal something. Yes, correct. Yeah. Anyone else wants to give a different definition? Something. Who is thief in your understanding?
Who takes somebody else's belonging?
Yeah, rightly that someone something they're claiming their own, but they
who for
don't.
who forgets the purpose of life. He is thief, according to
Yeah,
Krishna.
that is thief. But in generic term, the social norms, thief, as you know, they're saying, is someone who does not recognize the source of something. Like for example, suppose Arjun has an iPhone, and I go and just take it, and I keep it myself, and I don't recognize this is Arjun's phone. So what Arjun will call me, he'll say you are a thief because you took my possession, but you don't even recognize that it is mine. You can take it. You can say, Arjun, I need your phone. I like it. I really like it. Can you give me? And then it will not be thievery because I'm expressing what I want. Now it's up to him whether he gives or doesn't give, right? So there are different varieties of thief, but thief in general, someone who takes someone else's possession without recognizing or without even informing, right? That's thief. Now then, what next question? What is sinful? How do you define sin? If you're asked what is sin, we have heard so much in Indian culture: sinful, pious. So what is sin? How do you say something is
Doing
sinful?
something wrong.
Sin
But
is
there's
pap,
so
no? Pap.
But what is papa? Like how you how do you define something is papa? This is papa.
Something wrong,
Right?
Prabhuji. Doing something wrong is,
But the wrong and right is very generic perspective. Something
yeah,
maybe someone will
unacceptable
say,
things. Unacceptable things.
but who decides what is acceptable, what is unacceptable? Because everybody has a choice, right?
Yes.
Against
Yeah,
against the law of creation. Against the law of creation, what we do, that is sin.
Yeah, Mataji's Kamini Mataji is saying something close. So in government setting, if you don't pay taxes, the government treats you like what? Thief. Because you stole the taxes, right? You are considered thievery of the taxes. What do you call Malya? Who was the Vijay Malya or who ran away with all the money from India? And so you call him thief, right? You call him thief, right? Everybody call him thief, right? Isn't it?
Yes.
And then sinful means what? Why is sinful also? Papa, right? Papa means what is pap?
Pap
That
means you don't know.
somebody, yes, sorry, yeah, you go ahead, say it, Mataji. Yeah, you disconnected. I think I cannot hear you. Can you hear me? Okay.
We
I
can
think
hear you. Yeah.
he just
Person,
disconnect.
the person who makes food for him. I'm just giving example. The person who makes food for him and for family, but don't offer to God. That is an action of sinful. It is just one example.
Then an example. Let's take the example of the food. Okay. That's very nice example which is being explained here. So for example, if Hetal Mataji is cooking food in her house, in kitchen. So she need ingredients. So somebody purchased that ingredient, brought in the kitchen. Where you purchase from a shop, right? From a shop, from a market. Who grow Somebody have grown those vegetables, fruits, spices, grains. Somebody grew in the field, that's how you got it, right? And sold it to market. Market, you purchased from a market, you brought to your kitchen, you're cooking, right? Now go back further. How does the person grow the kitchen items? How, where it was grown? In a field? In a field, what was used? Water, sunlight, earth, and seed. Who supplied all these four ingredients? Right? There has to be seed, there has to be proper watering, irrigation, sunlight, air, right? To grow anything, right? Who supplied it? So when it calls you are eating sin means that you are enjoying all the benefits, but you are not recognizing the authority, right? So you're cooking, you're eating, then you say you I am the owner. Or you can say I paid the money, I paid the bill. Then I got everything in my kitchen, right? Because I paid the bill. Yes, sir, you paid the bill. But then from where you get money from? Oh, I did the job. I was work for 8 hours daily. I got a salary. All right. So can money buy food? Yes, but at some point, money cannot buy everything because you can't eat money. You need to grow the vegetables. You need a food ultimately, right? In a COVID, people were dying. They had a lot of money, but they don't have food. People had money, food, but they don't have a pure, clean air because Corona was running in air, right? So the people died not because of money. They died died of air, died of virus, right? So whatever situation we are in life, we are going through, whatever we are enjoying, suffering, is provided, and when we don't recognize, we suffer. Like in government setting, I gave example of taxes. You don't pay taxes, you are considered thief. And also, if you don't do longer, if you are regularly you're not doing it, the government will punish you. It's a sinful. If you keep on doing it, you don't pay taxes for 10 years, then the police will come to your home and take you to the jail. They will not give you notice. One time they will give you notice. Okay, pay your taxes, please pay your taxes. But if you don't do 10 times, they will take they will take you to the jail. You're done. So when the thievery becomes regular, that's a sinful, right? You are thief one day, government will say, okay, no problem. No, this is not a habitual offender. But if you are a habitual offender, that's called sinful. That you are not recognizing from where you are getting things from, and you're not appreciating or even not even appreciating or recognizing that there is some supplier. You think, oh, I am the person who owns everything. But alone you cannot do everything. You need everyone together. And ultimately you need government. Similarly, universal affair, there is so many demigods controlling so many supplies of necessities in our life. And Krishna is controlling that, all the demigods, which will come Bhuktaram Yagyatapasham Sarvalogam Maheshwaram, right? So he is controlling everything, and but we don't recognize it. So we are thief daily and sinful long term. So when thievery becomes long term, habitual, then call sin. Okay. So we'll end here. It's already time. Anybody has any questions, comments, discussions?
Prabhuji, one question.
Yes.
It is very off track, but the shloka, what we pronounce, if there's some mistake, do we have to bear the path of it?
No.
Because some people say that we will not do, because if we do wrong, it is a big problem for us.
That's the problem. This is what I'm saying. This is all dogmatic. Dogmatic. You know why? It's an excuse. It's like, what example best you can give? So they don't fear God when they want to do something nonsense. They will not say, oh, I should not lie because it's bad to lie. It's not good idea. But when it comes to doing any spiritual activity, they will cite these regions. So this is all bahana, in simple terms. These are bolte bahane, so, right? Not doing things right. People don't do things right, the good things. That's why the bad thing prevail. So at least do good things imperfectly is fine. You're trying to do good imperfectly. Nobody's gonna punish you. But doing nonsense perfectly is very, very dangerous, right? So, so no, the simple answer there is not like that. And especially we are all students, we are learning, The idea is to imbibe and inculcate the principles, right? If you understand the principles, that's it. Because the whole purpose is not to become Pandit, not to become a Sanskrit scholar. Idea is to become person who understands and applies in your life. You apply that principle. And otherwise, Sanskrit is just a word. It's a phonetism, phonetics. What is the meaning? You know, it's like somebody singing whole poetry but doesn't know the meaning of the poetry. What is this? Right? And you will never understand the value of poetry. You will not even enjoy. It's just a musical instrument, music. Oh, nice. But if you ask them, what is the meaning, sir? No, I don't know why. Right? So, yes, Mataji, short answer, no problem. There is nothing like that mentioned. I have not seen someone reading imperfectly Sanskrit become punished by anyone. Okay,
Thank you. Hare
thank
Krishna.
you. Hare Krishna. Anybody else have any question, comments? Okay, just 2 minutes. If you want to describe in 1 or 2 sentences, what did you learn today? What would be that? I'm asking everyone, just in 20 minutes, what is the one message you learned today?
So I would say, like, uh, we tend to take a lot of things around us for granted and don't recognize where that is coming from, and that is sinful. That would kind of a summary for me.
That's a sin. Yes, that's a sin. Yes, Arjun said right. Like, I have been thinking this, what is sin? And it took lot of time to understand what is sin. Sin is nothing but just to not recognizing things which we enjoy, we take granted for. For example, I'll tell you, suppose your parents turn old and parents gave us birth, they gave us this body, they educated us, they did everything for us. And when they turn old, we don't recognize even that they did for us, right? They're not asking you to give them a few $1 million. They're just saying, respect me, recognize me, just admit that I did for you. And if you don't do that, then you implicate into sin. And if you do that, oh, pious, punya. Because you say, oh, you see your father, mother, you touch their feet, you just care them, offer them some food, respect, if nothing, nice words of appreciation, right? But if you're not able to do that, you are such a thief that you cannot even talk properly to your someone who did nice for you. Then what is that? That's the sin. It's not like some kind of ritual. It's a consciousness how you go and approach things, right? So Arjun really needs to describe nice. So think about it. Don't go dogmatic. When somebody talk, oh, this is sinful, this is pious, then you have to find out what is the principle, what is there, why it is like that, right? So then you don't fear. You understand things from Bhagavad Gita perspective. Bhagavad Gita is not a ritual or religion or any kind of dogma. It is very scientifically talking about these different aspects, which nowadays public don't talk about. It's more of you don't give me, you do. You want to counteract your sin, give me 50,000 rupees, I will do yajna for you and you can relieve. Some Kali Baba, some this Baba, then wo Baba, ye Baba, there's so many Babas, right? They will take your money and go and drink wine, eat meat, eat, and then that's it. Over, your yagna done. Yagna over. Okay. All right. So, anybody else last point want to share before we end? Okay. So thank you everyone for joining. Please join. It's just we do 1 hour, finish it. Promised every time we are doing it. So we'll not take your time. Try to join every time. Almost we do 1 hour today and then Saturday. All right. So thank you so much for joining. We'll do last pranam mantra and then we'll end the session here. वाञ्छा कल्पतरुभस्य च कृपा सिन्धुभ्येव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंदा। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम राम हरे हरे, हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे राम राम हरे हरे, हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्णा हरे राम राम हरे हरे। भगवत गीता की जय, शिल प्रभुपाद की जय। Thank you so much.
Who is
Hare.
iPhone 5? Who is iPhone 5?
Who is iPhone 5? Can you tell your name? I think this is Ramachandra, I think. Yes, Ramachandra?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, Ramachandra. Thank you so much for joining after a long time. Please.
No. From now onwards, I will be continue. I will be joining. Yeah.
Yeah, Ramachandra is joining from St. Louis. He's a postdoc there. All right.
Yeah.
All right.
Yes.
Thank you so much. Have a good night or good day wherever you're located. I know some US, some India. Bye.
Yeah.
Hare
Thank you,
Krishna.
Thank you.
Prabhuji.
Thank you.
Thank
Hare
you.
Krishna.
Hare
Bye.
Krishna.
See you.